Well, we know Angel Reese has definitely been in the headlines, man, after erupting in a press conference, pretty much swearing at reporters. And I'm here to tell you today is another day of the Angel Reese drama because she has simply smacked the clipboard out of an assistant coach's hands. Yes, now all of this went down during the Washington missed this game. This happened on national television.
Angel Reese has been a dominant, undeniable force in the WNBA, a player whose talent is matched only by her polarizing presence. But a terrifying question is now echoing through the league. Is her fiery, uncontrollable attitude becoming a catastrophic liability that could not only derail her own promising career, but tear the entire Chicago Sky franchise apart at the seams? This escalating crisis has thrown first-year head coach Tyler Marsh directly into the line of fire. He finds himself in an untenable position, forced to confront the increasingly controversial behavior of his star player, the very athlete who was supposed to be the franchise's cornerstone. The decisions he makes in the coming days will define his tenure in Chicago. One wrong move, one moment of hesitation could see his coaching career go up in flames and plunge the organization into a level of chaos from which it might never recover. The stakes have never been higher as a generational talent teeters on the edge of becoming a cautionary tale.
Anyway, the referees blew every whistle. The referees blew every whistle. Like, I'm not joking. I'm not joking. There was one play where Angel Reese dribbled backward. She backed into Aaliyah Edwards and tripped over her own feet and got free throws. The free throws that led to this happening were unbelievably soft. That led to Angel Reese breaking a coach's clipboard, walking over and slapping a coach's clipboard. And by the way, if this was Caitlin Clark, you just know they'd be calling out her anger.
A lot of people are picking up on is when she is walking over to the bench and she slaps the clipboard out of her coach's hand. And you guys, my honest reaction to this when I first saw it, I was just laughing. It's kind of like the reaction that you're seeing from me right here. I wouldn't look into this too hard. I know it's already become controversial because they're like, oh, if another player did this, there would be think pieces written about it. And
the breaking point, the moment that shifted from typical sports drama to a full-blown organizational crisis, arrived on July 8th, 2025. During a nail-biting, razor-close game against the Washington Mystics, Angel Reese's infamous temper boiled over in a display of shocking unprofessionalism. The game was on a knife's edge, tied 77-77 with a mere 29.9 seconds left on the clock. It was a moment that called for composure and leadership. Instead, following a foul call she vehemently disagreed with, Reese stormed off the court toward the bench. In a flash of raw fury, she slapped a clipboard with the next play drawn on it directly out of the hands of Ann Crosby, the team's vice president of basketball operations and strength and conditioning. This wasn't a heated exchange with a teammate. It was a blatant act of disrespect toward a senior member of the team's front office, broadcast live on national television for the world to witness. The meltdown left fans, commentators, and the front office utterly stunned. In the aftermath, Reese took to social media not with a genuine apology, but with a flippant post that brushed off the incident as a heat-of-the-moment reaction, claiming the refs were pissing her off. This lack of accountability and genuine remorse only fanned the flames, suggesting this wasn't an isolated mistake, but a glimpse into a much deeper problem.
Are you okay? Are you okay, Barbie? The emotional decline continues for Angel Reese. The temper tantrums, the complete loss of emotional control continues for the Bayou Barbie, as well as the Chi-Town Barbie and Double Barbie, and whatever other alias that Angel Reese has decided to give her.
Wild. All right. It was wild. I mean, tempers were flying. This was an all-out rivalry, man. All right? I mean, even Angel Reese was pissed at this moment. Look at this. Pissed. All right? Pissed. This was close to the end of the game. 29 seconds left. Game tied. Game on the line. And I think she was called for.
Angel always talks about being willing to do whatever dirty work is necessary. Did you see that today? Did you see a performance that in terms of the timeliness and the types of plays that she made, it went beyond the stat sheet?
Yeah, I think that's who Angel is in the best way. I think that that's what her skill set allows her to be. That we shouldn't just look at her as a rebounder or just as a scorer. There's so many different things that she can do on a court that helps a team win. And Even though shots weren't falling for her tonight, she had 5 assists. She had huge rebounds down the stretch. And that's the kind of versatility that we see in her. And she's embraced it so far.
And that is precisely the fear consuming the Chicago Sky organization. This wasn't just a one-time forgivable outburst fueled by competitive fire. It was the latest and most alarming incident in a long and troubling series of controversies that have followed Reese like a shadow all season long. Her tenure in the WNBA has been marked by a consistent pattern of confrontational behavior that seems to invite drama at every turn, from her endless, thinly veiled social media jabs at her rookie rival, Caitlin Clark, to her perpetual complaints about officiating and a carefully cultivated victim narrative. Reese has turned her public persona into a spectacle. She has repeatedly painted herself as a warrior battling unfair treatment, yet her actions on and off the court often blur the line between righteous anger and petulant defiance. The Clipboard incident was simply the newest, most volatile chapter in what many are now derisively calling the Angel Reese Show. It's a show that increasingly seems to prioritize personal grievances and headline-grabbing drama over the collective success of the team, and it's a narrative that is spiraling out of control.
So Angel Reese, the most toxic player in all of basketball, is out here slapping clipboards out of her coaching staff's hand because she's so mad her team committed a foul in the crunch after she shot 15 free throws this game. This is the lowest of the low disrespect that you can show to your coaching staff. She's trying to get y'all locked in, worried about the next play, and you so toxic with your terrible, awful attitude that you slap the clipboard out of her.
You guys, Angel Reese had a great game. She had 22 points, 15 rebounds. There were some questionable calls from the referees on both ends of the floor during this game against the Washington Mystics, and they ended up losing by 2 points at the end of the game. And so she's a competitor. Love or hate Angel Reese, she's a competitor. She's a fierce competitor. And I feel like this was just a moment where her frustrations got the best of her. Hopefully, later on, I'm sure she'll probably see this on social media and she'll go up to her coach and be like, my bad, coach. That was not cool of me. I shouldn't have slapped the clipboard.
This escalating circus of controversy places head coach Tyler Marsh in a truly impossible position, a precarious tightrope walk with no safety net. He was hired specifically for his sterling championship experience and his well-earned reputation for building strong, accountable team cultures rooted in trust and professionalism. Marsh is a product of winning environments, having learned his craft from legendary coaches like Nick Nurse with the Toronto Raptors and Becky Hammon with the Las Vegas Aces. He knows what a championship locker room feels and sounds like. He was brought to Chicago to instill that very same discipline and sense of shared purpose. But now, as he stands by and watches his star player slap clipboards out of a staff member's hands with no immediate visible consequences, his entire philosophy is being questioned. The silence is deafening. It's beginning to look less like a team guided by a championship-winning coach and more like an asylum where the inmates are running the show, with Reese as the unapologetic ringleader.
Why do you guys hate Angel Reese so much? The Angel Reese hate is so forced. This is why we hate the bricklaying sloth. She has a terrible attitude, awful, toxic. This is why she has no friend. This is why
Angel Reese said that she was done being polite. She was done being humble. I'm done being silent. The Bayou Barbie is mad, mad, mad. And Barbie is about to start clapping back at the haters. To her credit, Angel Reese said what she meant and meant what she...
The internal turmoil couldn't have erupted at a more devastating time for the Chicago Sky. The team is floundering, struggling with a dismal 6-13 record that places them near the bottom of the league standings. They are not just losing games, they are losing their very identity. On paper, they have the talent to compete, but on the court, they often look disjointed, frustrated, and devoid of the chemistry that defines winning teams. When your supposed leader and franchise player is more concerned with her social media brand and settling personal scores than with leading her team to victory, the entire structure begins to crumble. The constant controversy is a corrosive distraction, overshadowing any on-court achievements and breeding resentment within the locker room. The team is no longer a professional basketball organization. It has devolved into a high-stakes reality show, and the drama is directly translating into losses, threatening to completely sink their entire season into irrelevance.
Something with the Chicago Sky team, like they are not doing well this season. I think that is evident. It doesn't look like they are going to make playoffs, and this was just a moment of frustration at the end of the game. It is funny though when you play the clip over and over. This was a warranted crash out. Like, we can give Angel Reese a
Here Austin at 13 free throws, Angel Reese at 15. Angel at 15 free throws. Last couple of possessions to go. Kiki Riafen is standing with her hands up. Angel Reese just flings herself backwards into Kiki Riafen. Down 2 to draw the foul.
I'm not one to blow up negativity, but Angel Reese supposed to be leading young women and being a great example to girls and kids all over the world. Well, I'm here to tell you, she was not leading by example.
Adding another layer of frustration to this whole ordeal is the conspicuous and confounding silence from the WNBA's league office. The league has a clear and explicit set of rules governing player conduct, professional standards, and respect for coaches, officials, and staff. Yet those rules appear to become flexible, almost optional when it comes to its biggest, most marketable stars. The league, which has shown itself to be quick to investigate and penalize players for far lesser infractions, has remained eerily quiet about Reese's repeated and escalating behavioral problems. This glaring inaction has led many fans and analysts to question whether the WNBA is operating with a double standard, willingly protecting its most popular and ratings-driving assets at the direct expense of its own integrity and professional standards. The silence sends a dangerous message that if you are a big enough star, the rules simply do not apply to you. This is unequivocally Tyler Marsh's moment of truth, the single greatest test of his young head coaching career. His legacy in Chicago will be forged not by the plays he draws up, but by how he handles this crisis. Legendary coaches like Phil Jackson and Pat Riley built their dynasties not just on the talent of superstars like Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, and LeBron James, but on their unwavering commitment to holding every single player accountable to the same high standard. They understood a fundamental truth that talent without discipline, character, and respect for the team is just untapped potential, a recipe for ultimate disaster. They knew that a toxic superstar could poison an entire locker room no matter how many points they scored. Now, Marsh stands at that same crossroads. Every player on his roster, every coach on his staff, and every fan in the stands is watching intently. They are waiting to see if he has the courage to do what great leaders do, to enforce the standards of professionalism and respect he was hired to build, even if it means confronting the biggest star on his team. If Coach Marsh fails to act decisively, if he allows this behavior to slide, the future of the Chicago Sky looks perilously bleak. A team with a star player who refuses to lead and a coach who is afraid to command respect is not a championship contender. It is a talented team on a fast track to implosion. Without a firm guiding hand to restore order and demand accountability, the Sky are destined for more of the same disappointing seasons that have plagued their recent history. They will remain a collection of talented individuals rather than a cohesive unit. Angel Reese's immense once-in-a-generation talent may be tragically wasted, drowned in a sea of unending drama and self-inflicted controversy. The choice is stark and the hour is late. The organization must decide if it wants to be a professional basketball team or a primetime soap opera, because right now it is failing spectacularly at being the former, and if things don't change immediately, the entire franchise is headed for a disaster of its own making.